Yorana Imaeva, hello and welcome. We are transported to the tropical paradise of Tahiti today, in French Polynesia, joined by our special guest, Merehani Parker, who is the director of Tahiti Islands Travel. Tahiti should be top of mind at the moment, especially as we head into the winter season here in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's starting to get a little bit cooler outside. Uh, this is the time when those warmer climates are really quite appealing, and I personally wish I was down in Tahiti with you, Merehani. Um, so Merehani has a lot of content about what is new in the islands for us all. So I'm going to dedicate most of today's presentation to letting Merehani walk us through this content. It's been tailored to talk about the COVID landscape so that we have a lot of private options for you and a lot of COVID-friendly options for you as well. Now, I want to talk very briefly before handing it over to Merehani that there has been a lot of confusion in the marketplace around what are the entry conditions to French Polynesia. And that's fair. But what I want to say is that it is quite straightforward now. And it is in line with a lot of other destinations. We're all pretty much familiar now with taking a PCR test 72 hours in advance of flying anywhere we go. So that is, of course, required. And then in terms of testing, the only other test that is required for vaccinated travelers is another test on arrival into Tahiti. So 2 tests, nothing too strenuous. And then, of course, returning back to the North American market, you do need to take the US pre-arrival test as well. So for vaccinated travelers, it's reasonably straightforward. You do need to register your itinerary with the French Polynesian government, just so that they know where you are. And this is done on the ETIS website prior to departure to the islands. And we'll send through in the follow-up all of the links, all of that information as well, but very, very straightforward. And once you get there, you have the benefit of having a destination almost, as if COVID doesn't exist anymore. It just feels like that. You can almost forget about it because you're in a place where you've got wide open spaces, lots of fresh air and ventilation. Normal hotels, you're walking down a corridor or a hallway. In Tahiti, your hotel hallway is over the water. And so you can't really ask for more of a COVID-friendly environment than that. So I'm looking forward to hearing all about the new product developments in Tahiti. And so Merehani, can I hand it over to you?
Yes, absolutely. Yarana, everyone. I'm very happy that you took the time to spend some time with us this morning. So I do have some exciting products to share with you. First of all, okay. All right. So we will start with the yacht options. As Erin said, we receive more and more requests for private options, private homes, private villas, and we are looking at expanding the options, the offer of private properties and private experiences. So I want to talk to you about the super yacht options. We have actually, French Polynesia really is one of the best places for sailing. It's not very well known around the world because the infrastructure here does not allow for a development of yachting here, but the weather conditions around the islands, the diversity of experiences really makes French Polynesia for a good place for sailing. So one of the options that we have would be those usual yachts that can accommodate a maximum of 12 guests. So they're luxury yachts with 4 to 6 cabins. between rooms, and here you have and really it's like you have your own overwater bungalow. And the good thing is also that you pretty much can travel anywhere you want, stay anywhere you want to stay, and for the length of stay that you wish. So these would be the usual yachts. We have probably about four of them in our collection. But we are also very soon, I think it's going to be sometimes next year, we'll have this monohull, I guess that's how you call it, that will be in our waters. And the experience is very different. Last year, I think we had guests traveling with one like that. They were Russians, and we organized shore excursions everywhere they were going. So they were going to Bora Bora and Huahine. And so we can organize not just reserve organize just the cruise itself, but we can organize everything that goes around it, the private experiences and the islands and dinners and things like that. And the other option that we have for private experience on the water would be those catamarans that we said quite a lot, in fact, within Tahiti Islands Travel. And what to me, we have to remember, like for rental. So for us Polynesians, the ocean was our home. Our ancestors came to the islands on water. And when you watch the Disney movie Moana, it's a true story, really. Our ancestors traveled on the waters, and they knew the earth was not flat. And they knew that it was, I wouldn't say round, but they knew they could go around and around. And that's how they discovered our beautiful islands, and then they sailed down to Aotearoa. But to me, doing a cruise in the islands is not just about the cruise itself, but it's also exploring places that you cannot reach by land. For example, when I went on the Aranui, or even on a catamaran in Raiatea, we could reach places that are not accessible by land because there are no roads. But you also see the landscape of the islands differently. And it's a way to discover our islands the way our ancestors did. So we have all these different options. We can customize the programs. We have a lot of combinations of land experiences combined with cruises. Usually they would be 4 or 5 nights cruises. Most of the time they would be departing, especially on the catamarans, they would be departing from Raiatea, going to Taha'a and then Bora Bora. But for the other yachts, like the Ultimate Lady or the Tamaka, I think it was called, we can start straight from Tahiti. So again, remember that it is your program, the length of stay that you want, the islands that you choose. Here we are mainly talking about the Society Islands, but we can also do it in the Marquesas. The program is a bit different, and the requirements for the boats are different, but it's not something that we cannot do. I mean, it is something we can do, or we can also do it in the Marquesas. The cruises in the Marquesas would be more oriented diving, but it's not just what you can do, because again, traveling in the islands by boat, you have access to places that you wouldn't have access if you were staying just in a hotel. Speaking of which, we have a new one opening next month, and it's the Hilton Tahiti. We're very, very excited. It's going to be a new product. The hotel is located just across from my office. And so the other day, as I was preparing the presentation, I went across the street and I wanted to take pictures, but they said, no, you cannot take any pictures. So I took the best, the shots that we were given by the hotel, but I can tell you that it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Just as I was walking past, because I also had to drive past it to come to the office, but the entrance is really grand. It's majestic. And I know that it's going to be a very, very good product, a very good option here on the island of Tahiti. It's going to be ranked as a 4-star, but I think the target is really going to be 5-star on the island of Tahiti. The good thing also with the location of the Hilton, it's within walking distance to town, and currently the city is doing some works along the waterfront to allow to offer a good, nice promenade for the hotel's guests to reach town. So voila, you have here the main, the public areas with the restaurant, the main entrance, the lobby, and as you can, when I see it, especially this picture here, upper right, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the St. Regis in Princeville on Kauai. It's very spacious and with this big chandelier at the top. We're very much looking forward to seeing it. The rooms, we will have 4 different categories with the lagoon view, garden view. So here, what you have at the top, the layout is pretty much going to be the same, except that here you will have a garden view or an ocean view, and so that would be for the room. And on the right hand side, sorry, you have the lounge. Here at the bottom, the big picture is going to be one of the 2 presidential suites, very spacious, and they also are going to have one 2 bedroom suite. So we're very much looking forward to its opening, to its inauguration. I'll be there, so I'll take pictures and share with you. I'll share with Brent, and he'll share with you. But it's a product that we definitely need on Tahiti. We have some demand. We also need to offer more options. So the Hilton will be open to the public starting November the 15th. Like I said, the inauguration will be on November the 11th. Voila. Then, in terms of experience itself, we have actually had a lot of requests for it. Amazing. And it's the stargazing. I was telling you that our ancestors traveled on the water, on the ocean, and they were not just following the currents. The stars also guided them. Everything around them guided them. The stars, the clouds, the sun, the currents, of course, the temperature. But on Bora Bora, we want to share with you something a bit more authentic, and it's going to be the stars. The stars tell us everything. Last week it was the full moon, and here in Tahiti we call her Hina Tutupo, and she's very, very important to us. We do all of our agriculture, all the planting we do is according to the moon. There's some time of the month when it's better to plant roots, for example. At another time, it's going to be better to plant fruits, but also the fishing that we do in our home, in our islands, depends on the moon. But stargazing, we're going to tell you more about the stars, what we see here in the southern hemisphere, but also how our ancestors, as great voyagers, traveled. So it's important also to know that stargazing can be a very romantic experience, as you can see. So what happens is that the guests are picked up at the pontoon of the hotel at about 5 p.m., 5, 6, depending on the weather. They do a cruise, a little cruise on the lagoon. They have some drinks and probably some canapé as well. But it can also be a very good experience for the children. We have more and more families coming in the islands, and they can be very fascinated by what the sky has to tell us. So it's going to be a little cruise first, and then you reach the Motu, where you have the actual stargazing experience. You have a big bonfire, and then you can roast marshmallows with your children or with your significant other. But it's really, I think, to me, on Bora Bora, it would be one of the most authentic experience. The product was fairly new with our partner. He launched it in June, and we're going to meet him again next week. But it's going to be a very, very, very good and unique experience. This experience will be exclusively sold on a private basis. to preserve, of course, the privacy, the intimacy, but also the respect of the ambiance, so that we can share with you the stories of the stars and what they have to tell us. For one of the newest experiences that we had and that we really, really wanted to share with you. And the last thing about product update, oh no, it's not quite the last. We also, last time we told you about a spiritual retreat in the Marquesas, and we are going to do it. We've been working on it since last year. The Marquesas, because it's one of the most energetic points in the islands, I feel. When you go to the Marquesas, you know, there's something here in Polynesia, not just in Tahiti, but around Polynesia, that we call the mana. It's a power, it's a spirit, special spirit. It's, I don't know how you can describe it, Ran. She can help me out here.
It comes from the you know, let's talk about the Marquesas themselves. They're such isolated islands. They're probably the most isolated islands anywhere in the world. And so with that comes a tradition and a culture that hasn't been polluted, by want of a better word, by Western civilization. So it's very raw, very real. And what you're feeling is that energy of the people who have lived there before.
Yes, energy. That's the right word. So I want to present to you the person we will be doing this retreat with. Our spiritual guide is going to be Rani Chavez. Maybe some of you know her. She used to work on the Paul Gauguin. She was a DOSM at the Pearl Resorts. She also worked at Tahiti Tourism North America. But as you know, if you know her, she decided to change her life 180 degrees, and she just shifted, and she decided she would work for what she loves. And so she went to India for training on yoga, and she's opened her practice. But then we decided to partner together. Recently, I have also followed some of her classes, and they have truly changed me in many, many ways. And of course, this is not the place to talk about it, but Rani, I know, will be really the right person to lead us. Together, we have met with some other spiritual guides that we will meet throughout this retreat. It's going to be a 5-night retreat in the Marquesas and 2 nights. But the other retreat was because, you know, COVID, people getting NCAG. But there was also, we felt there was a need to reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with our roots, reconnect with spirituality. And so this is why we decided to do it. We worked on it since last year, and we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen next year in March. It's going to be around nature, about our origins, about Mother Nature, and where we're coming from. And we decided to do it in the Marquesas because, as Ren said, it's one of the to me, I went to the Marquesas, of course, but the energy in the Marquesas is very different. You know, just the scenery give you goosebumps. You know, there's something special about the place. You know, there's something about the people. But it's not just about spirit. It's not just about the mana. It's not just about reconnecting with ourselves, but it's also reconnecting with people. And we're working on a very beautiful program to get our visitors to meet with the locals, more in the spiritual world, more with traditional and ancestral practices. But I really, really look forward to it because I decided I was going to participate. So Rani will be leading the tour, and I will be following. And so if you would like more information, let us know. We're still polishing the program, but it's going to be a very, very unique one. We only have 10
spaces.
What did you say? 10 what?
Spaces.
Well, 10 spaces. So we want to make it very, very intimate. And I look forward to it.
I think this is the perfect thing for for our advisors on the line, for anyone who, is a little bit more intrepid, for your clients who may have visited Africa, for example, and done a lot of the African destinations, because they're interested in going off the beaten track. That's what the Marquesas is all about. It's not completely off the grid, but it is a much more real experience. There is obviously some lovely accommodation, but it's not ultra luxury.
Yeah.
There is a realness to it. So, the intrepid traveler, if you have those sorts of people who are looking for a different type of wellness experience, the Marquesas as a location is excellent. And then you have the Polynesian cultural influence as well.
Yep, I'm making notes here. What you said, Ren. So I really hope that we'll be successful in promoting this, and as Ren said, it's for the intrepid traveler. Okay, and this is our last product for today. It's a very brand new private island that's called Motu Nao Nao. Nonno is actually Tahitian for sandflies, but don't worry, they took care of them on the Motu. But it's very unique. It's in the lagoon of Reatea, which also share the lagoon of Taha. It's a three units property. It can accommodate a maximum of 6 guests, and this is what you get. I'm going to visit it next month, just right after the inauguration of the Hilton. But this is truly what you get. It's very traditional. They're using a lot of local materials, very organic in terms of construction, and you can see here the rocks from the reef, wood, coconut leaves, thatched roofs. But the whole island is for you. You have 2 options if you want to rent the place. It's a minimum of 2 nights. 2 nights. You have the option with yoga and massage, and the other option, which is everything else, that includes everything else, which would be kayak, snorkeling gears, and things like that. So it's an all-inclusive stay at the Motu Nao Nao. Oh, sorry, I thought there was another picture. But to me, Motu Nao Nao is really is quite an experience, because you know what, the island of Reatea is not known for beautiful beaches or beautiful lagoon, but here, as you can see, you would be somewhere like in the Tuamotu. Almost, you have all the advantages. It's remote, it's secluded, and yet it's just about 45 minutes from Tahiti by plane. We actually have guests. We have our first guest going to Motu Nao Nao, and I think they will be the Motu's first guests overall. And so they will be flying by helicopter from Taha to the Motu Nao Nao. But we really, really are excited to have this product in our collection, because again, as Ren said, people are looking for more private experiences, more private places, and this is one of them. So
and you get beaches on both sides of the island, right? So you get the more sheltered side, and then you have the more rugged and rough side. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, as you can see, the bottom picture here, all this is going to be yours when you come. You don't just have access to this side, but really, if you want to run, if you want to jog, if you want to whatever you want, if you want to walk, then you have the whole Motu to do your exercise. And then if you need, you can do paddling also, and kayaking and things like that. So it's really your home in the middle of the Pacific. It's very pretty. Then of course you have all the meals included. But I think I really, really look forward to visiting it and telling you more about it. But voila, this is the latest product that we have added to our collection, and we know it's going to be a very, very good experience for our clients. We are actually working on the second request for Motu Nao Nao, and and we know it's going to work really, really well, at least for our clientele. Voila. So this is what I had to share with you. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And voila, Ren.
Wow, you have been busy.
We have.
My goodness. It's, you know, what I love about it is that with all of the slowdown in travel, is that Tahiti has still been reinvesting into tourism and travel and making sure that the guest experience is a good one. And I think that's something that some other destinations haven't been investing that time and energy into. So it's wonderful to see that in Tahiti, and I can't wait to see all of these new products firsthand and take good notes. We expect a full report. What we'll do, everyone, is we'll send you this presentation so that you have it available for you. And then, of course, if you have any questions, please do let us know over email. We'll do our best to help and facilitate you there as well. Merihani, any last remarks?
Well, yes, I always have a lot of things to say, but I do want to thank you for taking the time to learn more about Tahiti. It's true that, the last months and years were not so easy, but we had very, 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 very good partners, very supportive partners from around the world. And, it really makes a difference for us. And it helps us carry on in those hard times. But yes, it's true that the destination has continued to invest in tourism. The owner of Tahiti Islands Travel, unfortunately, it's not me yet, but our owner also has done a lot of investments. He has invested in the Hilton Tahiti, which is also part of the group the agency is part of. He's invested on the island of Bora with the purchasing of the land to extend the current Hotel Muscat, which is Sofitel Bora. He's currently investing on the Meridian Bora Bora. The works have started, and they're hoping to open at the end of 2022, but most likely 2023. But he believes in tourism, and we believe with him in tourism. It requires a lot of efforts, a lot of perseverance. But that's why we're in this industry, because we're passionate, because we love it, and we don't count our hours. We just do whatever we can within the limit that we have.
Totally, and that's why we love working with you and supporting locally. I think it's such an important thing to do, is to support the local tourism operators like yourselves, because that is the heart and soul of the destination, and that's what our guests want to experience, is that authenticity as well.
Yeah, thank you, Ren, and thank you all. And so Ren is just an email away, and then he'll transfer your email to me. But we are truly just an email away, so never hesitate if you have any questions. We have a team of 4 travel designers and 2 people in products, and me, I just do everything else. But really, we're very, very optimistic for 2022. Our numbers are very encouraging, but honestly, guys, we can't do it without you. We can have the most beautiful products, but if we don't have advisors like you to sell Tahiti, then we have no reasons to exist.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Merihani, for your time, and thank you everyone for signing in. Maururu, I can see already the comment section. Maururu, thank you, and merci. How we say goodbye? Nana in Tahitian. Nana, thank you, and see you next time.
Bye, Nana.